Hi, I'm Stephen Yonti doing the Junkyard Crawl in rural Vermont with a 1979 Chevrolet Caprice station wagon. If you're of a certain age, you might remember these things being all over the road in the 1970s and 80s. They made hundreds of thousands of these things. The Impala and the Caprice were kind of the go-to cars for most American families with a small family to carry around to various functions. And they're fun cars, too. 1977 marked a big year for the Caprice and the Impala, and also all GM full-size cars. They were all downsized, 650 pounds lighter than 1976. Aluminum bumpers were part of the picture. And of course, the front fascia on these things was reduced to have less aerodynamic drag, 14% reduction in the coefficient of drag, the CD, for better fuel economy. It was good for a half a mile per gallon to 55 miles per hour, which was the national speed limit. So cruising speeds, these things sip gasoline less than the full-size 76s, which had much larger steel bumpers and more abrupt faces or fascias, and no more big blocks. The 454 was gone, which you could still get in 1976. The 400 small block, also possible in 1976, but for 1977 beyond, 6-cylinder or 305 or 350 small block V8s. No more big blocks, no more 400 small blocks. So kind of the move toward low power was in effect. Saving fuel was the key. And this is Motor Trend right here. Of course, Car of the Year Award 1977 is a revolutionary car. And here it is here on the cover of Motor Trend. The guy's getting their award. And it's interesting to note that Motor Trend even downsized the trophy for 1977 in keeping with the downsizing trend. Crazy but true. I believe there's even a little picture in here showing the new trophy smaller than the previous ones, and keeping, again, with the theme of downsizing everything about these vehicles. And the trophy, well, just trust me, it has been downsized. So we'll get to the car itself. And here's the designing of the Caprice and the full-size Chevrolets, designing the Car of the Year. And there it is right there, the clay, the renderings here. And there's the reduced fascia right there again, good for a 14% reduction in CD. And kind of cool. You can see here the story of how it was designed. Plastic modeling right here, computers, some of the first modeling, and a full frame car these things were, of course. But something kind of interesting, if you study the picture of the renderings of the wannabe Caprice right there, the artist renderings from way back when, well, there's something called the Aston Martin Lagonda, which, if you ask me, bears a striking resemblance to the Chevrolet Caprice. And here it is. Is that, if you ask me, that looks a lot like a Chevrolet Caprice or a full-size Lagonda, a very more expensive car. But again, the tapered roof, the B-pillar like that, kind of interesting. You wonder if maybe GM stylists took influences from the Lagonda. Don't know. But anyway, moving around this car here, again, aluminum bumpers front and rear. They still did the impact absorbing bumpers front and rear, national mandate. But again, a lighter car by 650 pounds. And again, reducing weight is a great way to improve fuel economy. And again, this one here being a Caprice Classic, has a fully loaded interior. It does have manual windows, kind of interesting. But manual windows being in tilt column, power steering, of course. The tilt column right here, I think it still works. There it is, still functioning. AM, FM radio in this thing here. Plush bench seats, front and rear. No 4-speed manuals. 3-speed manual is certainly possible in a base Impala wagon at this point in time. 3-speed on the column, not on the floor. And there was no Impala SS at this point in time. That would come along in the 1980s later on. But so not here, or 90s, I should say. The Impala SS arrived for 2 or 3 years. Interesting car. But again, lots of room here for mom, dad, and the pets, the whole family, the whole tribe could jump in. And something kind of cool that was also found on certain Chrysler and Fords was the 2-way liftgate. Right here, the tailgate goes up like this. This has been crushed and crashed, but again, it also can open like that. Either way, Ford, Chrysler, and GM all utilize that. It's very, very helpful in increasing the utility. This one has the optional roof rack and the air deflector here, which helps to keep the rear window clean at highway speeds instead of getting the gritty buildup of the dust and dirt. But again, there it is right here, the downsized 1977 Chevrolet. All GM cars from 1977 were downsized. And here it is right here, aluminum bumpers, again, at the back as well as the front. And of course, impact absorbing structures underneath, which was required by the Fed to reduce the amount of damage done. Believe it or not, there are shock absorbers, hydraulic rams in these things. When they get hit, within 24 hours, they retract back to their original shape and form. And believe it or not, it worked. This stuff here, these are little urethane faces right here that are meant to deflect and not bend. That's why these are made of rubber, so that when the bumper goes in, it doesn't bend this thing. It just slides underneath it. So again, keeping the insurance companies happy with, cars that kind of healed themselves after a low-speed impact, 5 miles per hour or less at front and rear. That was the mandate from the Fed, and, well, Chevrolet had to obey, and here's their effort right here. But again, the crazy 2-way tailgate on this thing, kind of neat. So we'll look at that. And here it is right here. In America, if you looked at 10 households, probably 3 in 10 would have one of these things in their driveway. So that's the story of the full-size but downsized Chevrolet lineup for 1977, as epitomized and shown by this 1979 Chevy Caprice station wagon. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Baggs YouTube channel and come back tomorrow for more Junkyard Crawl. Thank you for watching.